La ma la je san chi san ji la je san chi chi la je san chi gi de la je san chi la na ye da kun chu san la kun chu san la je san chi la ma la je san chi san ji la je san chi chi la je san chi Gindi la ja san chi la mai da kun chu san la kun chu san la ja san chi.
I have 4 sisters and 3 brothers and my mom. They're all nomads. And when I was small, we got really very difficult living condition, very poor, you know. One day my father got bronchitis and we haven't got any money to treat him or to see the doctor. So he stayed in bed for 2 months. Then he passed away. I was 9 years old.
When I was 9, my parents died because we didn't have enough money to put them in hospital, so they died. And they had 7 children in my family. After that, my older brother looked after all of us. We were farmers, but we didn't have so much livestock, so our life was very difficult. I was 12 years old. So then we heard that Akonumbochi started Rokpasko in Yushu. So the government let me go to the Rokpasko. And since I have been to Rokpasko, I had a wonderful life. They give us everything we needed. And we were very happy. It's just like our big family. We have many brothers and sisters. Our headmaster and teachers being like our parents. We are very happy to be Rokpasko.
Ne chungyong de samba zambo, joran zambo, lojong zambo, zambo samden de bate, sana wonchen. Ne joran zowo de lojong chomanan samba zambo de joran zambo ne chabo jara. Ne mala yende yago yona matela samba zambo chimena yende de pendo kai meba chimchele.
I think main achievement to Rokpa is basic education, and then on the top of that, if you have an education, then you can able to use the education in a good way. Education is like dew, precious dew, and wealth is not important. I think wealth can be today rich, tomorrow poor, but education, wherever you go, until you die, you don't lose. So I think the important is the education, and then environment and health is the 3 main part of the project. I think every child has different skills. So whatever that you have the basic skill yourself, and that you should to try to achieve. I'm not looking at everybody reach something like professors, but I think everybody able to read and write and some skills and to become useful rather than unuseful people.
In the West, there's some publicity around in schools that says what we need is smaller classes, and in Tibet what they need is classes. It doesn't matter if they're classes of 50 or 60 children, that's what they need to get a basic minimum start in life, in education. Nomads have to come to residential schools and the poor people because this society cannot support orphans in the way that we do in the West in terms of fostering or adoption. So at the moment they need to be in residential educational establishments. One of the other big differences between students, say, in a residential school in the developed world and students in a Rokpa school here is that they don't have the pastoral care staff in place. So they look after each other. And they do it, by and large, really, really well. Older students take care of younger students. New students come into the school and they're assigned an older student, and they develop very, very close relationships with one another. The other really important thing for Tibetan education is that they get materials and resources in their own language. And a lot of the subjects that they're learning are not yet written into Tibetan textbooks. It's really important for Tibetans to learn in their own language. And this is very much recognized by the Chinese government as the minority languages are equal.
We are Tibetan, you know. I don't need to speak, Chinese to Tibetan people because of course they're Tibetan. Of course they understand when I'm speaking Tibetan to them because they are Tibetan, you know. Like in Yushu, most Tibetan people, they speak Chinese. Even though like the parents, they're Tibetan, they speak, Chinese to child, and then generation, like one generation, two generation, they're all become Chinese, So I think it's really important, Really, you hold tightly your own language.
Tini kona honda lodan rom tushi dani lunga rele da loda jindo tsinu di tini udduto ma jijo yema na de pama na de nga honda shu morendi ke de menda mare de ki tini rine de chi kon thani zombo yo chasa
tene nga so pare inde tene phok ke de hirai de la tene tungko konten dang tanyang mare ke centran ke nang la tene ran Tonyong Merek, Hion, the Aje Tangcho, the Sonjab Zocho, Manyan Banzanjo Zocho. Sometimes Zosati, sometimes I did in everything and Dungeon in Jeddah. Sometimes I did in everything and Kotus of the day in the nature of Jirare.
People have two different ways of looking at the Tibetan plateau. One, it's a mysterious, magical, holy place, and it's awesome, and it's inaccessible, and it's never been exposed to the West. And there's the other view that the West often have of a very oppressed country whose culture has been taken away from it by another power.
Of course there is Tibetan culture, and it's flourishing right here and now with the songs you hear, the dances you see, the attitude of deep understanding for human suffering, which is very much, very deep inside Tibetan culture. That's all there. And of course, due to the Cultural Revolution, there has been a great loss of much of the culture. That is very true. But that is what Rokpa is doing. We are re-enlivening, if you like, making something that in some ways was nearly disappearing come back to life.
Jete soka rachoda soka kumba de negeda pundo kaki jinjil tar shigindwa de mato soka the pena sejanda wachinjena sol thamka jigirwa ngaso thamka yo marawa.
Whatever we are, even you are teacher, whatever job you have, you still should not say, oh, this is the nomad people, their living is not good. You should not say, because they have their own, you know. All the people got different own ways, you know. Even though I'm an educated girl, but I still, you know, admire about nomad living. So I think it's really important to keep your culture forever. You never should not lose it.
And one thing that's clear is that this area of Tibet, or the Tibetan plateau, is very threatened. It's threatened by economic interests for mining, and it's threatened by road building on a massive scale. And I think also the Tibetan plateau being a Buddhist country, there are Buddhist ways of understanding nature. And I think what Rokpa can do is to reinforce that sense of importance of the environment and understanding of it.
Children going on to university, becoming doctors, becoming teachers, that is one area of activity that Rokpa supports. But the other area is making the children appreciate and understand where they came from, and to engrave in their minds that what they grew up with, the Tibetan medicine, the herbs, the knowledge of tanka painting, the knowledge of carpentry. They have a very refined, very wonderful background and tradition in these arts. And to support that, and to have them again be proud and sure of who they are and what they are and where they're going, that is also part of Rokpa work.
It seems to me Rokpa children is a little more compassionate than any other children, because I always talk that you help everybody. If you want to be a doctor, not only your friends but your enemy. But I think the kindness is most important.
We are often, then we just depend on other people's help, you know, and all the people that help us, they got compassionate, you know, they got that heart, you know, that feeling to help us. So we must have same as the feeling to help others. So whatever I do, I just really want to do something helpful for the Rokpa. I really would like to. Even though I can help when often, I will do it.
Good.